ever since I started preparing this homily and read that first reading, I couldn't get out of my head anything but the good old US of A. We were a nation founded on immigrants. Except, as I was reminded, the slaves who were brought over here and had no choice do not consider themselves immigrants but slaves. And other than the native peoples who were here already, we claim this as our own. Good for us to remember, all of us, or most of us, are immigrants. Illegal at that. And then I was preparing this talk for my Straight Talk Theology, which we've just had. And I was comparing two books, one by Richard Stearns called The Hole in the Gospel, H-O-L-E, The Hole in the Gospel. And this other person you might know, Pope Francis, called The Joy of the Gospel. His latest little 250-page letter to us. And I found the two of them speaking the very same message. And I thought, oh, this is really going to be very interesting. Let me tell you what I was thinking. One thing that would make our country greater is a deeper, richer sense of the common good. You remember the common good, don't you? It's that which is good for all of us, and that which makes all of us good. That which is not based on profit, it is based on charity. We do something for each other, the common good. Not because of what we can get out of it, but because of, or I can get out of it, but something that we as a people need together. Now I will confess to you that I am 67 years old. Thank you, you're so kind. She said I was a youngster. But in the years that I remember, my understanding is that the notion of common good in our country has diminished. It's nothing like it was. It used to be much more profound and much bigger. Now it seems that it has to fight its way to get anything, because what has taken over is our rugged individualism. And our rugged individualism sometimes leads to isolationism, and all of that leads to thinking about me, and me, and me, and me, and me, and not us. And while me might feel better, us don't. Richard Stearns' Hole in the Gospel says, the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ is based on God's love for all and for everyone, and especially for the poor. The reading today, the gospel reading, "This is my beloved Son in whom I'm well pleased. Listen to him." Okay, Lord, what do you want to tell us? And Jesus says, "I want to tell you this. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind and all your being. And love your neighbor as yourself." On these two commandments is based everything. Love. Francis reminds us, and Richard Stearns reminds us, that gratitude is basic to Christian life. Because everything that all of us has is from God. A free, wonderful gift. And in any sense of rugged individualism is based, first of all, in that. Not in anything that we ourselves have, but in everything that we ourselves have been given. Any economist today will tell us that the distance between the rich and the poor in our country is growing, and has been growing steadily for the last 20, 30, maybe even 40 years. And that means that our sense of common good has been shrinking. Now, there's nothing that you or I can do about the common good by ourselves, but we can change our hearts. We can make big room in our hearts for the common good. And we can make our voices felt at the ballot box when we elect our next set of representatives and ask the question, so what do they care about the common good? And we can invite ourselves to this Lent to a greater generosity. Holy toot, we can do that. This is a season of almsgiving. What a perfect time for this humbling. One way, increase your tips. Nobody can stop you from tipping generously. And Lord knows the people that you're tipping probably need the tips anyway to live on. In our session, we talked about poverty levels and how much an hour it takes for a family of four to live on. It's over $12 an hour to live at poverty. This is the really big level of poverty. And we know that all the jobs that are out there are not paying that kind of money. But the people who work for you can receive it. Because if you know that somebody else isn't receiving that kind of wage and they work for you, you can tip them. You can be more generous. You can make life a little easier. It's amazing that we sometimes say, our economy's gone down the toilet. And it has. Why? Because we're not buying enough. Based on our consumer buying. Well, why are we buying enough? Well, because we aren't getting enough money for a living wage. Well, if we, ta-da. And I'm a theologian, not an economist, so excuse me, but it would seem to me that if people got a living wage, they'd be able to buy more, which would be able to spend more, which would be able to make the economy grow, which would mean that everybody would be happier, and holy toot. and for gospel reasons. God has blessed us as the community of the baptized. We have much to give thanks for. How shall we repay the Lord for his goodness to us? Happy Lent.